Hey class, today I wanted to talk for a minute about the observations that are due throughout the course and just to make sure that everyone has a clear understanding of what I'm looking for. First of all, as you know, because of plagiarism, you need to make sure that it is your own work, that you're not borrowing from somebody else, and that this is your own original creation, not something that was used for another class. Second of all, when you write your paper, please make sure it's numbered exactly as it is in the assignment, and this allows me to make sure that you clearly understand the different areas of development. If you put it together in paragraph format, I will need to send it back to you and have you rework it into the numbered format. Let's take a look at some of the questions that people usually have about creating these observations. You need to find some place where you can observe someone for at least a half hour in the appropriate age group, and sometimes people instantly start with a preschooler because they think, oh, they're so little, that must work for the first group. It really doesn't. When we're talking infants and toddlers, we're talking about a child who is under the age of 3, and so we're looking for either babies or children who have just started walking, or maybe are into their 2s, but no older than 2. I will say that some of this is very difficult to observe in a newborn, so I recommend that you look for a child who is at least 3 months old, but it isn't required. All right, the next thing is we want to talk about physical development. Now, physical development is different from your observation of a description of what the child looks like and what you observe in their actions. So things that you might observe in physical development might be crawling or running or walking, or the use of their fine motor skills to put together a puzzle or to feed themselves. These types of things we would be looking for. As you get into some of the older observations, it might be something like you observed that they have started growing facial hair. That would be physical development. But these types of things, sometimes people confuse emotional development or cognitive development, but physical development is just about their abilities to manipulate their body or changes that have happened to their body as a result of development. When we talk about psychosocial or social emotional development, we're talking about how does this person or this child relate to others? How do they express their needs? Do they respond to instruction? Do they get along with other people? Are they able to self-manage their behaviors? These types of things we would be looking for in psychosocial or social emotional development. In cognitive development, we're looking for ways that we can see evidence of the brain working. We might see math, we might see reading, we might see cause and effect, like they recognize as they play with this small toy that when they throw the ball that something happens. So these types of things would be examples of cognitive ability. Putting together a puzzle would be an example of cognitive ability that you might notice from a preschooler. Understanding how to turn the pages in a book, these types of things as well. When we talk about language development, do they understand spoken language? How well do they speak? Are they able to speak? If it's an infant, you might be writing about the fact that mostly they're making cooing sounds, or they seem to enjoy listening to their own sounds that they make. Finally, the area that can be the most challenging perhaps is to make a connection between what you actually saw and what you have read in our textbook. And on this item, you want to make sure that you choose something that you can really thoroughly discuss. You don't want something that you put the quote in there and you say, this really helped me understand what I observed. That is not discussing a connection between what you read and what you observed. I'm expecting that we're going to have at least a paragraph or two that connects your observation to what you read and how that deepens your understanding. I hope this video has been helpful and that you can better understand what the expectations are for the observations in this class. They are a significant part of your grade, so I encourage you to do your best, and as always, to be sure to contact me if you have any questions.